Welcome to High Alchemist. I'm your host Chakra and I'm here to enlighten you. Today we're going to be talking about how levitating people are real. This is a phenomenon that a lot of people don't believe in, but there's two sides to this spectrum. There's the good side and then there's the evil side. It's been seen in movies and it's believed way more than, for instance, how um, in exorcisms, for instance, right? Like people believe in haunted places, people believe in exorcisms and how a place is haunted way easier than, for instance, a person from, let's say, like Tibet or India, levitating through meditation and practice. Because I don't know. That's just the world we live in, I guess. That's the balance that we have nowadays. But I am here to tell you that if you believe it enough, you can levitate. If you practice for a long time, I'm not sure how long, but if you believe it enough, it's even stronger. You know how people say you can put if you put your mind to it, you can do anything you want. You know what I mean? You can do anything you put your mind to, and that's real. uh, I'm reiterating here, but people believe in bad things first, then good things. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, our deepest fear is that, not that we're inadequate, but that we are powerful beyond all measure, and that is the case. My name is Chakra, and chakra is an energetic node. We have like 13 or like 7, or we have infinite amount of energy and energy points in our body. uh, all these acupuncture, all these western uh, things are, kind of the surface of it, but the iceberg is way deeper than that. The ocean is way deeper than that. Earth, right? Then space, and then universe, and then black hole. So everything, and then it's like infinity, right? It's like a Pac-Man. Like you go in through one hole and then you come out the other hole. It's like infinite amount of universes and Pac-Man doors and levels. And anyways, the sky's the limit, and levitating people are real. Um, like I said, uh, it's easier for you to believe in a place being haunted than a place, full of like levitating monks or something, right? Because I don't know, like it is what it is. But I want you to understand that this is possible, and that um, the spectrum of good and bad, this is all real. Like we have five senses, right? Like what are we? We are five senses, right? We are in space and time, right? We have spirit, we have consciousness, right? And all that all kind of ties in together with the five senses. We have the mind, which is kind of like consciousness, but we can kind of differentiate. Um, yeah, and we always have to be connected to something, right? Like at one point we were nothing. We were just like energy. Think about how we get here, right? We were nothing. We were energy, and then our parents, like, got together energetically. We think with energy. Like our mind is like electric neurons, and so if you look at how things work, like the fabric of space and time itself, right? How everything is made out of atoms and whatnot. Um, shoot, this is how I think they built the pyramids, through acoustic levitation. You know how we can, some like a lady can go like, oh, and break a glass. That is, she's physically doing something without touching it physically, if that makes any sense. Like she's physically doing something without physically being there herself. So she's like, it's kind of like spooky action at a distance, right? Like, so she's like over here, but the glass is right here, and she's like throwing waves at it, like wirelessly, right? Wire technology, you know, like all these things, like technology. The latest technology nowadays is, you know, far fetched as heck, right? And it's only gonna get, you know, like even better, right? Like we're gonna have like, in the future we're gonna be like, remember screens? I digress a little bit, but my point is, levitating people are real, and if you practice meditation and you really want to levitate, you can get there. And you, in if you get to that point, you're like enlightened, and you know, not only that, you've like achieved nirvana, to the point where you're so self-actualized that you have completely detached yourself from what it is that you think you are, right? If that makes any sense. You know, if it doesn't make sense, think about that. What are you, right? You know, physically, mentally, spiritually. Like I said, we are five senses, right? All the five senses, right? Go through them, right? We have a mind, we have a consciousness, we have a spirit, we have a soul, and try to think of something else. Like, you know, leave it in the comments down below if you want. Um, shoot. So, and it's easier, like I said, for people to believe in like, oh, that place is haunted, be like, oh yeah, like that's cool, like, you know, type of thing, as opposed to like, oh, that place is like miraculous, like, you know, like the fountain of youth, or you know, like all these things you see in movies. Like I love all these movies, because to a certain point, like I had a page on Facebook called "Ancient Texts Aren't Fairy Tales," and I deleted it. I regret deleting it, and then I made my YouTube like about a year later. But my point is, I talked about how ancient texts weren't fairy tales, and to a certain extent, um, a lot of things. I'm not gonna say everything, but a lot of things in the ancient texts, especially in regards with like psychedelics and like, you know, the spirit, and like I've always said, like what's the difference between like, for a little tangent here, what's the difference between a dragon and a dinosaur? There's not that big of a difference, you know what I mean? Um, if you're looking at it like a physical difference, like we're carbon-based life forms, right? We think with electricity, like that's how neurons fire, right? We're made out of water. So, what's the difference between a dragon and a dinosaur? Dinosaurs were real, right? You know, and yeah, you know, life is crazy. There's a lot more to, I guess, the proverbial veil behind the five senses, right? So it's like our five senses, you know, like all the stuff that I said. Um, yeah, like levitation is real, like levitating people. The spectrum is a person levitating, good mentally, I guess in the light, not in the darkness, right? Kind of like Star Wars, like he has the Force, and for instance, like to not use movie analogies, a Tibetan monk, or a person from like India or something that has been meditating for 80 years or something, and he can like levitate. And the other side of that spectrum would be like, for instance, a person possessed by some demon or something, and you know, she's like rising out of her bed, like, you know, like in movies, but like that's some real shit. Like I I like it, but I, you know, to a certain extent, to where it's like huh, but it's not entertaining. But it's like it's like it's like I didn't even know what to say. But yeah, scary movies, man. Like I'm not scared or anything like that. Like, but for the most part, it's like, do I want to watch it? It's like sure, because of the people around me. But it's like I don't watch it for entertainment because I know that shit is real, and scary movies and shit like that. But and you can draw that line, that gray area, in between, like the exorcism of Emily Rose and Men in Black, for instance, right? Uh, and touching on the subject, I'm near an airport, so you can hear the airport things in the back. But if you can't, touching on the subject on Men in Black, um, it's crazy, but this is a little bit conspiracy-ish. But the Prime Minister of Russia, I believe, a couple years back, couple years, said Men in Black is a documentary, and that tickled my fancy very well. And I was like, whoa, because it's like 50%, and I've said this before, of our atmosphere is up there. You know, supposedly there was water on Mars. You know, uh, like are we Martians? Like Adam and Eve. Do Adam and Eve have belly buttons? I've always questioned that. Like supposedly, right? Adam and Eve were the first people on Earth, and if they were the first people, kind of like how what came first, the chicken or the egg, right? If they were the first people, did they have belly buttons? Because if you had a belly button, that means you came out of a womb. Then again, that you know what I'm saying? It's like that whole domino effect type thing. So it's like, how does like who set the first domino off? And that is the everlasting question: is who set the first domino off? You know what I mean? Like, why are you here? Like, we kind of know why we're here, right? And we're accustomed to the way things are here and the cycles of life, right? The vicious cycles sometimes, and the money and the all that, right? All that stupid stuff. But like in that one movie with Shia LaBeouf and that one dude with the Wall Street, right? Um, Time is the most important commodity, and that is 100% true. Kind of like gold on Earth is pretty valuable. Uh, Gold, I believe, is pretty valuable in a lot of places, in a lot of on a lot of planets. You know what I mean? On a psychedelic note, and yeah, I believe in all this stuff wholeheartedly, and yeah, man. I appreciate you for joining in my conversation, my little tangents, my little anecdotes. I love you guys. I will see you in my next video. Please don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell notification, hit that like button, comment down below. Check out the links in the description, and I will see you in my next video.